Hey, it's OhYoNameTaty back again with another video. In today's video, we will be doing the review to The Flash Season 7, Episode 6, okay? So let's get right into it. So it starts off again with, something wreaking havoc on Central City. And I'm just like, why haven't these motherfuckers moved yet? Like, the rent must be extremely low in Central City. Like, I just don't... Let's talk about Michelle Harrison again. I loved her in this episode. I feel like I'm gonna love her in every episode. Hopefully she's in at least 3 more episodes. I just really love her character. I really love the actress Michelle. I think that she's great. She's been here since season 1. We really haven't got to see a lot of her as Nora Allen, which, obviously she's dead. But I'm liking her as the Speed Force. Do I trust the Speed Force? I want to, but once we got to the end, I'm not quite sure, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. So science talk with Chester and Cisco, blah, 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 blah. But it goes to Caitlin and Killer Frost, and I'm like, do people really enjoy this? Like, I just feel like she's getting a lot of screen time that could go to someone else. Like, I don't know. Like, no offense to Danielle Pennebaker. She's been here since season 1. She's been here since season 1, so, give her the screen time that she so deserves. But in the same breath, the screen time isn't needed. Like, do people really care about Killer Frost and Caitlin? Like, Caitlin hasn't had a consistent storyline since season 4. Killer Frost has not had a good storyline since season 3. So I'm like, do people really care? And I had to think about, why does Killer Frost and Caitlin suck so bad? Like, why do they suck? And the reason being is, neither one of the characters have had any development since season 2. Neither one of them have had any character development. Any. Which is sad, because Killer Frost was at her peak in season 3, and so was Wally. But Wally got character development, but she didn't. I find that so crazy. I find that so crazy to believe. So yeah, the Killer Frost Caitlyn storyline is boring. And I believe that every storyline that Caitlyn has had has been boring. I honestly believe that the writers don't like writing for Caitlyn because she's so boring. Maybe that's why she gets a sucky storyline, because she's a boring character. Like, there's not much to do with her. I feel like that's why they split Killer Frost and Caitlyn in the first place, because they didn't know what else to do with her character. Somebody gonna die. And it's gonna be one of them. I don't know which one they gonna pick, but one of them is about to die or go away for a very long time. So they're trying to figure out what big bad is coming after them next, after the Strength Force and then the Sage Force. And so they're trying to figure out what's coming next. And then in doing that, they end up getting stuck in the 90s. This episode had very little of Barry Allen, but it was enjoyable. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think season 5 had another episode where there wasn't a lot of Barry Allen, and it sucked. So this one was really good. Yeah, and they even, it was a really good episode. And they even played Montel Jordan, This Is How You Do It. I hate that song, but I love it. But I hate that song because a tragic thing happened to me in high school at a performance when they played that song. But I won't get into it. I love it, but hate it. And so when, Chester and Cisco are walking, and they're finally realizing that they're stuck in the 90s when they see a Space Jam title, and they see that Blockbuster is still open. Man, I miss going to Blockbuster. I bet you Blockbuster is punching themselves in the gut for not trying to buy Netflix. They probably is mad at themselves. Everybody that worked at the Blockbuster Corporation is probably punching the air right now at the fact that they didn't buy Netflix when they had the chance. And people just continue to talk about Blockbuster, like, stop bringing up our name, okay? You're just reminding us of hurtful things. So what I'm noticing, so it goes back to Star Labs, and Nora, I want to call her Nora. The Speed Force is like, my beautiful boy, just like Nora Allen would. And the Speed Force is very observant with Barry, but it's more of a paternal observant than trying to find a connection between Barry and the Speed Force. You know how, like, the Speed Force has a strong connection with Barry and Iris, but it's coming off more paternal than it is just being, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just coming off very paternal how the Speed Force is trying to care after Barry. Like, it's very weird. It's very weird, and I think nobody is noticing it right now, but I don't think it'll take long for, you know, someone to catch on. So, you know, Chester and Cisco are trying to find out who this force is, and they go to a high school because it's reading signatures of that, and, you know, they find this kid after going through this wannabe rap artist and this other girl, and this person knows that they're living the same day over and over and over and over again. And so they assume that it's them, and then they get whammied again. And Cisco thinks he's a 7-year-old boy, and when I tell you, it was the cutest thing ever. I don't know why it was so cute, but it was just so cute. Like, it was just so cute. Like, and Chester was just like, dude, you're 30. And I was like, Cisco's 30? He is? And he ain't married and got no kids, but yet that's what he wanted in season 5? Okay. Just stupid, right? Just stupid. You're talking about, I want to be just like Barry. I want to settle down and get married and have kids. Where they at, Cisco? Where they at? Because in my head, Cisco is single. He ain't got no girlfriend. I'm sorry. They want us to believe that Cisco and Camilla is a thing. They are not. That's his buddy, okay? That is not the woman he is laying his head down with every night. They do not share an apartment together. That is not his girlfriend. I'm sorry. It's not believable. If Barry and Iris having a long time is not believable for us anymore, then it damn sure ain't about to be Cisco having a girlfriend, a living one at that. No, I'm sorry, it's not. Iris and the Speed Force scenes were so good, and I never knew that I needed them, ever. Because the Speed Force has always talked to Barry. Like, it's always been like Barry, Speed Force, Barry. And the fact that the Speed Force, you know, is really trying to understand Barry through Iris' eyes, like, I never knew that I needed it. Okay, so a lot of people are kind of in an uproar on social media at the fact that Iris said, well, Barry doesn't really talk about his mother so much. And at first I was like, what? Like, when I watched it live, I was like, what does she mean he don't talk about his mother as much? Like, what do you mean he doesn't talk about his mother like that? Like, he doesn't talk about her much. What do you mean? Mr. Blabbermouth of season 1, did we forget that? When Iris called him a blabbermouth when he refused to tell her something about the Flash? Or in season 3 when Joe and Barry were talking about Wally and how he doesn't share his feelings, and then Joe was like, yeah, Barry, you're like a second daughter. You always overshare your feelings. Like, did we forget that? Did we forget? But when I watched it back the second time, I was just like, it kind of makes sense for him to not want to talk about his mother or any other death that he's dealt with after season 5. Like, I feel like Nora West Allen, if her character was written right, she probably would have been the worst death of the Flash. Like, she probably would have been the most traumatic, stressful death on the TV show. If she was written right. If she was written honestly, I love Jessica's portrayal of Nora West Allen than I actually love Nora West Allen. Like, does that make any sense? I love Jessica playing her, but I didn't like the character at all. I thought she was annoying as hell. And if viewers had loved Nora as much as they loved Jessica, and if Nora was written the right way, Nora would have been the most saddest death. And she would have took on, like, she would have surpassed HR's death, is what I'm saying. And then it kind of would have made sense for Iris to say, well, he doesn't really talk about his mother much. Because I feel like thank you. Because I feel like since we're now starting to get into the Flash that Thawne knows in the future, that Kadabra knows in the future, all these future foes know the Flash to be, I feel like the more hardened he becomes. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a bad way. So I kind of understand that the reason why he doesn't want to talk about his mother anymore. I kind of understand it now. And also, I want to talk about the Speed Force. I don't know what it is, but And maybe the Speed Force is doing this purposefully, but the Speed Force has really humanized itself versus how it was in season 1, 2, and 3, where it was just like very monotone. I feel like the Speed Force is trying to relate to Barry in some way, and I don't understand why. And hopefully we get into why in episode 7. So we get the heart-to-heart with Chester and his father, and I think that was one of the best heart-to-hearts that I've seen in a long time on The Flash. Like, it's been like probably since like season 4. That's been the, like, season 5 was supposed to be the heart-to-heart playbook, but it really wasn't. And Chester and his dad, like, they really, that scene was amazing. Like, I found that to be the standout scene of the episode. And I felt like that conversation needed to happen, obviously, for Chester to figure out a way to beat Devon with his fine ass. He was so fine, girl. Ooh, the Steel Force. I'm so glad that we're gonna be seeing him a lot more of Devon. Is his name Devon? Deon. I said Devon. I'm glad that we're gonna be seeing a lot more Devon in next week's episode. Hopefully we continue to see Devon with his fine ass. Anyway, yes, I felt like that conversation needed to happen for Chester to finally get some closure and move on. And I think it was relatable because a lot of kids that are now adults have dealt with absentee parents. I know I have. I dealt with an absentee parent. And to figure out that Chester's father loved him in the best way that he thought he could was great. But at the end of the day, his father didn't love him the way Chester needed to be loved. You know, like he said, everything I do is for Chester. Me working these long hours, me going out of town, it's all for Chester. But at the end of the day, obviously, Chester needed someone who would be present. Like, his love language is definitely quality time. And while that was cool that he forgave him and moved past it, it still doesn't negate the fact that he felt like a loveless child because he didn't love him in the way that Chester needed to be loved. But yeah, it was still a great scene, and I'm glad that Chester got closure, and I'm glad that we got some character development on Chester. So in order to beat Devon, at least for a second they thought they beat Devon, was to have this little pep talk that Chester gave him. And I think that this pep talk was the only one that was ever needed in the history of The Flash, because obviously Chester don't got no powers, so he had to appeal to the heart. I don't need no more pep talks after this. When it comes to Barry being the Flash, please don't do no more pep talks, baby. Beat they ass on the set, okay? Okay, so while Chester and Cisco, well, mainly Chester, is trying to calm Devon, why do I keep wanting to call this boy Devon? Calm Deon down and get him to stop doing what he doing and try to appeal to his heart, he making blasts all through Central City. Like, his blasts are just taking over the whole city. And Joe walk in with his fine ass strutting down goddamn Star Labs. Like, he was rocking that suit, girl. I don't care. Joe, I always thought Joe was fine in a 3-piece suit. I remember in season 3, the duet when he, oh God. He is so fine. He is so fine. He's so fine, girl. And then, you know, he was like, oh, Caitlyn, whatever he said, and girl. Who dressed her? Who was the makeup artist? Who did it? Who did it? Who made Danielle sit in that chair for 2 to 3 hours? Who did it? Trash. Girl, they had that girl with the you got a bob, she got a and then Killer Frost came in. I thought from here up was cute. The hair, the glasses. Here up was cute. Here up. And you know, Iris came in with the afro. Patting it. I was like, yes. And all she did was put on an afro and a cute little 70s dress. That's all she did. And it was just cute, simple, cute, straight to the point. And Joe finally gave her a compliment. He finally said something to his daughter in like 3 years, talking about, oh my God, Iris. And she was like, I know. And thought when y'all watched my reaction video that was up Tuesday, I thought Iris was trying to compliment Caitlyn. And come to find out, she was trying to compliment her, but it was a pity compliment because she knew that girl looked ugly. Caitlyn was like, nice try, girl. I know I look terrible. You do. Why they do her like that? They could have did like a pinup. Like, they could have easily made her like a pinup doll. They could have kept Killer Frost in the 70s. Hers was decent, but why she gotta be... Like, I just want Iris to do a slow-mo walk. Let's just have her do a slow-mo walk right here. Let's just let her do a slow-mo. Yes. Yes! Like, it was cute. Her outfit was cute, girl. And she did that. So, again, Joe ain't being a parent. Like, I've said this throughout the entire season. From episode 1, and we on 6 now, and Joe is still not being Iris's father. Like, he could say baby girl all he want to, but at the end of the day, you ain't being a father. Like, he didn't care nothing about, and even in season 6, he talking about we need to get our people home. No, bitch. You need to get your daughter home. What are you talking about? When he came into Barry's CSI, when he came into Barry's lab and talking about, yeah, we need to help get our people back, help get our friends back. Boy, your daughter. Yeah, Joe is just not a good father. Like, I don't know. And you know what? Quad just kept, he never was. Season 1, season 2, he never was a good daddy. Season 1, he was being sexist and not wanting Iris to be in the police academy, and then not wanting her to date Eddie, and she had to sneak around and sleep with him undercover. Season 2, he lied to her about Francine's death, and then he pushed Barry to date Patty, his partner, but didn't want Iris to date Eddie, who was his partner in season 1. Then season 3, they had to lie to Joe because they didn't want Joe to be rational and try to kill Sabotage, so they lied to him and didn't tell him about Sabotage. Then when he found out about Sabotage, he was just mad as shit. And then in episode 19 of season 3, he was just like, I don't know how to help you, but didn't cry not one tear. Then they found out about Barry and Flashpoint in season 5, and he just cried a river. Like... He is cry me a river. Like, that was Joe in season 5. That was Joe. Crazy, right? Or was it season 6? When was the crossover? Was it season 6? When was the crossover, girl? Season 6. Whatever. Season 5, 6. Watch it yourself. I don't know. This fine dude, Deon, is crazy as hell, but I like it. Like, he can change your life, my life, her life, his life, at any moment, and not give a, change your entire life in a snap. That's some crazy shit, and I like it. So Chester saves the day, hoorah, hoorah. Barry comes out of the cryo machine, hoorah, hoorah. And Iris is like, the Speed Force is like, okay, so I'm gonna go in the med bay and, you know, go to sleep. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for saving the day, Chester. Blah, 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 blah. And Iris is like, oh, you don't have to sleep there. You know, me and Barry, we have a guest room. When did they get a guest room? When did they get a guest room, girl? If I'm not mistaken, Nora was sleeping on the couch. When did they get a guest room? They just be forgetting they shit, girl. They just be forgetting. They just be forgetting what they do. And Iris is like, yeah, you could come stay with us, right, Barry? And he's just like, girl, I did not tell you could invite anybody to our house. Like, he really wanted to say no, but he only said yes because of his wife. Happy wife, happy life, okay? And quiet as kept, the Speed Force ain't gonna be getting no sleep anyway because all they gonna be hearing is this. I'm sorry. I'm a fool. I'm sorry. You know, Barry and Iris gonna be making records, doing dance routines and stuff. You know, that's what they gonna be doing. So Joe has another scene with Frost, and I feel like Joe got more scenes with her than he do his own daughter. He walk up to Killer Frost and talking about, hey girl, why you got them glasses on? She like, oh, I think they cute. And he like, okay. And he was like, okay girl, so this general, she from Gotham is coming after you. And she like, I don't care. And he was like, you should girl, she coming after you, she's trying to arrest you. And he like, I can handle anything. I don't care if she's a Xena warrior, and that Xena warrior will whoop your ass too, girl. She's just like, I can take it, I don't care. Again. Again, why? Why does she have screen time? And Joe more worried about Frost than his own daughter that's only been out of the Mirrorverse for like, what, 3, 4, 5 episodes? Make it make sense. And Frost talking about, I can handle it. I'm gonna live my life regardless. I'm a good person now. Are you though? So overall, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the dynamic between Cisco and Chester. I enjoyed the dynamic between Iris and the Speed Force. It was just overall a great episode. And again, I'm gonna keep saying this. Eric did what he said he was gonna do. Eric said he wanted to make a Flash story, and he's doing that. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And now